We're live. Hey everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to remind everybody that we're here, Agency 258. I'm Russ Johns, and I'm going to be bringing in Marian LaSalle, co-founder of Agency 258 and a master connector in the university here. And we're remote because she's actually had some impact from Harvey. So we want to talk about that today in our show and hopefully grab some insight as to what that actually means. So Marian, can you join us? You should be able to do this. You can do this.
Hello.
How fantastic. So we're on the show, and I'm looking, I want to make sure that we actually talk about some of the things that you've gone through and some of the effort. I'm working to, there we go. I can see you again. All right. And for those that have been following us and kind of know what we're all about, Marian is in her home, and I'm in my home, and we typically do this show at Office in America at our office, right? So we're usually together in the same room. So Marian, tell us why you're not in the same room today.
Why? Good morning. Good morning. Yes. It is still morning here, and this is work. I will tell you that I'm getting all the cleaning supplies and everything behind me, but I decided, no, I'm raw and I'm real. The only thing I did was put a little lipstick on. Hadn't even put my earrings on because I didn't know where they were. We have everything piled in the middle of the floors or in storage until we can get our walls back. We literally lost our walls.
Yeah.
So, earrings, there we go.
Well, I'm so glad that you're okay. And
well, I was just going to say, you know, people are like, well, how could you be so happy and, you know, bubbly still? It's like, you know what? We're alive.
Yes.
I know some people did pass away during the event, but we are doing the best that we can and having a positive attitude about marketing and about life in general. It helps.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I mean, and everybody, I mean, there's 30,000 to 40,000. I don't know what the count is today, how many people, you know, the water is receding, and it was, you know, in your home, it was 6 inches, but some people had, you know, their entire house was engulfed in water. So
I knew a guy who, his family had a 3-story house, and they were on the second floor thinking that they would be okay until it receded and then they could deal with it. No, it was up to their neck on the second floor, and so they were rescued by boat before it got to the third floor.
Wow. Wow. And they were able to get out okay?
They were able to get out by boat, and they are okay. They are being sheltered by family members and good citizens from all over. What I really want to talk about today, a lot, of course, on marketing, but here's 2 stories that I just have to tell anybody who will listen to me. That gentleman I was just telling you about was in my home with you, Russ.
Yep, I remember.
Volunteering at my house while his house was still underwater, and I didn't know it at the time. Someone told me a story, and I said, why are you here? What is your story? You know, what's going on? And he said, I have to be here. Don't you see? I can't sit at home and not help.
Right.
I just found that to be one of the things that made me cry. I'm not crying over my lost stuff. I'm not crying over, you know, having to go out and beg for people to help me. I'm crying over the heart that people from all over the city, all over the country are pouring in to donate and to help, and they just want to help.
Yeah, there's so many people that have been giving so much, and the donations and the incredible generosity that everybody has is just it's just mind-boggling. And you
If
know,
you'll excuse me for just 1 second, I'm going to turn the fan. I've got fans blowing in my house to try to dry it out, and I know it's bothering, so I'm just going to turn them
yeah,
off.
the sound is kind of cutting out probably because of the fans. So, and what we're doing here is, we do this show every Tuesday at 11. Last week, we did not do the show, first time since we started the show, and it was as a result of the devastation taking place around us, and it was just unfortunate circumstance for so many people. And our hearts go and prayers go out to everyone that is experiencing this massive catastrophic demonstration. And one person or one station, I heard reports that set records in amount of water that was coming down. One report I read, it was 51 inches of rain. Now I don't know if that's the point. Is that it's more rain in less than a week than Texas usually gets in a year, right? I mean, it's just mind-boggling when you think about how much water that actually is. It's just insanity.
It just
And
felt
so,
like it was never going to end. It was just going to come down until,
yeah,
I don't know. My family, who lives in other, one's in North and Dallas, and Toledo, Ohio, they said they have visions of me on top of my roof floating down the street, because that's what they were seeing on TV. People were literally being, pushed out to their roof,
yeah,
get away, so they
yeah.
wouldn't. So I am grateful that I didn't have to go that far. However, I know that today is about marketing, and we want to talk about that because it's important. There's a lot of business owners here in the Houston area that have been affected, and they don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to start marketing their wares for fear of offending somebody, because you know what? There are pockets here that weren't affected. Weird as that may sound, there are apartment complexes, there are homes, there are sections of Houston.
I was not affected at all, other than the fact that I couldn't buy any food. I couldn't buy any groceries. Nothing was open.
You couldn't go anywhere, right? All your streets were flooded.
Yeah, all the streets around me were flooded. However, me personally, I was not directly impacted. I wasn't flooded. Our building wasn't flooded, and I just feel so fortunate and kind of guilty. Is like, wow, why not?
Survivor's guilt.
What's that?
You have survivor's guilt. That's what
Kind
they
of,
call it.
yeah. And at the same time, I feel a tremendous amount of gratitude for all of the things that are going on and some of the donations. And in fact, as you know, Agency 258 is expanding into Arizona. So I will have some furniture and donations available as these people come out. I'm going to reduce before I leave town. So I'm going to be providing some furniture and some supplies and some things as I move on to our new location in Arizona. So it's interesting to me because businesses right now, from a term for marketing, is like they have so much opportunity. Did you see where Anheuser-Busch started canning the cans with water in it? They quit making beer so they could actually produce cans of water.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they say water.
A beer drinker would know that.
Not that I support Anheuser-Busch. However, I do, in fact, understand that business owners, we just wrote a blog post on this. You can go to Agency 258 blog post, and it's, don't be an asshat. Don't be one of those rush in the emergency to make a quick buck kind of people.
Oh. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be the person you want to hate, right?
No.
So businesses that help, they've a lot of businesses. I was reading a blog post on Facebook about Freebirds and how they donated food to the first responders, right? A lot of people were donating food to first responders, people that just came in from all around the country with boats to rescue people. It was just insane. It's just insane. From RJ Diamond is with us. Fantastic. Tell us what your story was, RJ. Were you impacted, and how were you impacted?
So I put a link to the blog post that you did. What? Don't be an ass fat. I don't know that word. Oh, ass hat.
Yeah.
Okay. So I put a link to the blog post, just to the blog itself, and then you can find the latest one, right? And then also I put a link to an event that we're having for business owners, so that we can mastermind and strategize. And, a little comic relief. I think maybe we should hire a comic, don't you? To come in.
Oh, it's interesting. It's an interesting time, and so many people are willing to help, and it's just a matter of knowing how to help, right?
Yeah. So, Russ, tell us about marketing and not being offensive or an ass hat. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm sure you did some research and you gave your opinion.
I did. First and foremost, what I want to share is have a little gratitude for those that are helping and volunteering. And I know that you pour out your heart to everyone, Marian, and you've been able to get volunteers in other homes, you've been able to help your neighborhood, and these volunteers, I mean, just the source of inspiration is phenomenal. So, first and foremost, the business owner, I think we can all take time to recognize the volunteers and the people that are doing the hard work, the first responders, the police officers, the firefighters, the National Guard, everybody that is in the position to help others. I've been a first responder before, and a lot of times, because you're just in the scene and everything's chaos, a lot of times there's never any, you don't have time for that, right? You don't have time. So if business owners can take a moment and do something to recognize the first responders, and this is one way that we're doing that, is helping, put a little, a hat tip, right, out to the first responders and everybody that's contributed to that. The other thing that I wanted to share is the fact that, Houston strong, Texas proud, right? There's a lot of people that have a lot of just the emotional attachment to Houston and the diversity in Houston and the depth of the caring that goes on here. Houston will rebuild. Houston will recover. And just like we've seen in other natural disasters, Sandy was one example. Katrina, is fresh in our minds still from, nearby. And all of these natural disasters having a cause and effect. People get relocated, people move, some people never make it back. And there's a lot of things that are taking place that require patience, time, patience, and understanding. Have a little consideration for what you're going through and what others are going through. There's a grieving process, right? You're upbeat now because really you don't have a choice. You're grateful and you have gratitude for the fact that you didn't lose anything, that can't be replaced, right? So those are some things that we need to think about. And getting past the disasters, businesses have the power to help. They have the power to assist. And think about how you can assist without taking advantage of the situation. Can you provide food? Can you provide water? Just like the examples we gave. Think about how people are able to get your services. I mean, right now, delivery is still, Beltway 8 is still closed. So if you have a service that needs to be delivered to somebody, you need to think about how that's going to take place and what's going to be impacted. Mail services has been disrupted. So many things.
Well, I have a little about that delivery. So one of the things that we need here right after the receipt, well, not every place in Houston has received, just so you know, mine has. And what we needed most were dry out after they took the dry board out and the carpet and everything and the flooring if you needed it. Then the next thing we needed was boxes to put the things that were not effective in storage so that the repairs can start when they need to start, and the cleanup. Okay, so especially if you have pets, there were all kinds of things that you as a business owner could have helped with, like cleaning supply or cleaning services. There's a lot of different things that were going on. I didn't want my pets walking on the floor.
Right.
That dirty water, and then people traipsing in from all over, volunteers. Not that they were dirty, but they're pulling in all the crap from outside. And so one of the things that I was asking for on Facebook and on Nextdoor were boxes.
Right.
And I got a response from a gentleman who lived past the flooded area right now. We literally drove at least an hour just trying to get to each other. We were trying to meet in the middle, but the Beltway was closed.
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, keep going west until you can find the right." Not. We went all the way to 99, which if you're not from the Houston area, it's a good 45 minutes out, an hour depending on traffic, out west.
Right.
Before we could get to each other, and then it was still like bumper to bumper traffic, terrible. So you're right, Russ. You need to think about how are you going to deliver those items to us that are needed, fans and boxes and
right.
supplies, food, water.
Yeah, water.
Shut down the electricity and the water out there because people were trying to get back to their homes and they were afraid they were going to get electrocuted. They were wading through that water, trying to save their belongings. They thought it was over. The storm was over. It was they had to release the dams and the reservoirs, and that's what's causing their flooding.
Oh, well, we have friends that were evacuated twice. And they went from one place to another place. The first place they got flooded out, and then they had to go to another place, which they got flooded out because of the reservoir, the danger in the reservoir. And fortunately, they made it through, and nobody was harmed or injured or anything like that. And it was a major ordeal. They were traveling around from place to place for over a week, just trying to stay out of danger. And the only thing they had was the clothes on their back. So, these are some things that, transportation is still spotty in a lot of areas. So as a business owner, think about who you can help nearby, what services, and think creatively. Think creatively because you have the opportunity, and please, 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 for the love of all that is natural, don't have a hurricane sale. Don't have, we're going to blow the doors off kind of things, marketing efforts.
No.
And, and don't send anything out with a promo hurricane on it. I mean, that's just in poor taste. I just think it's I just don't think, this is just us speaking. If you're a marketer that does this and you disagree, have at it. However, I think for the majority of people and the generosity and the consideration out there, people don't want to hear about that. You know, that, I mean, we've had disasters in the past where advertisers have taken advantage of that, and it's been a big backlash. And when you have that distaste in your mouth from your customers, they are people. They are people. Everybody, you know, it doesn't matter what business you're in, people sell to people. So think about that as you're going through this process of connecting with people that you can help, you know. So time, patience, and consideration. And so, you know, customer service is another thing that something as simple, Marian, and you mentioned it, you know, you mentioned your charger.
Yeah.
Using their phones.
I can't find my charger.
Well, think about this. If someone is without power, and even simple as something as simple as a business owner offering some power to an individual to charge their phone, that could be huge. It could make the difference, right?
Right.
And that's what is called, you know, that's the people part, the public relations, the giving, the supportive in whatever you can do with what you have right now. You know, it's a matter of being able to produce results with what you have. A lot of people are displaced right now. A lot of businesses are scrambling for supplies.
I went to Fadi's, which is a local restaurant here in Houston, if you're not familiar, right off of a highway, 610 and a cross street, Beechnut.
Uh-huh.
And I was taking volunteers there for dinner because they were at my house helping me clean all day. And I just wanted to take them out for a nice, healthy Greek dinner, and it's trashed. That whole shopping center is just massive. Nothing.
That whole area was hit hard.
That's the Meyerland area.
Yeah.
And it just made me, it just broke my heart for all of, not just the business owner, but everybody that works there, all the employees, all of the customers that are driving by, you know, it's just heartbreaking, really. However, so let's talk a little bit about what you just said, Russ, because to me, I want, as a customer of theirs, I love Fadi's, I love their food, I love the owners. What I'm hearing you say is when they come back, they shouldn't market it as, you know, we survived the hurricane, now come back, we have 10% off or something. They shouldn't do.
Well, no, what I'm talking about are the people right now in the process. I mean, I've seen the ads already, and hey, we're still open. You know, hurricane sale, you know, buy our stuff. And the wound is too raw right now for that kind of advertising.
I get
right?
it.
So as a business owner, you know, so one of the things that you want to consider is how can you help them? You know, increase business owner,
Yes.
Social media support, we can provide updates and information, you know, all of these things going on that we're doing individually. We can do this for other business owners. You know, and that's why we're having this event on Friday is to, you know, just encourage everybody to kind of come together, you know, take a breather, kind of adjust our scope and figure out what needs to come on and you know, how can we help each other? Because like you go in some of the stores and they're still not able to get supplies because, the places that they got supplies from is no longer available to supply. Distribution centers are closed, 59, Beltway, all of these, there's a lot of road closures, right? So right now they need to gather up their resources and do what they can. And when they start coming back online, in a week or two or however long it takes, then we can support them ongoing. And I encourage everybody to help each other empathy. It's about empathy. Have a little empathy for what people are going through, because it's a grieving process, and everybody has a different timeline for this. So we really have to think about how this can come together as a community. So be patient and listen, right? And one of the things I talk about in this blog post is right now, for a lot of business owners, there's not going to be a typical sales process for a little while. People are looking to achieve survival. There are a lot of businesses closed, and that, like you said, it's not just about the business, it's about their employees. It's about how their employees can go out and purchase things. It's about how their employees can pay their bills and get past this challenge that they have, right? So you think about that whole evolution of where the economy goes. So we're going to have to think about that and work through that process. So have a little empathy. Right now, a lot of people are in survival mode. They're not thinking about luxury goods and, any kind of fine features. They're thinking more about, what do I need to do right now to get stable? George R. Brown was full. I think the Toyota Center. There's people in Dallas that are out there. Think of the thousands of people on the coastline at all these power plants and oil refineries that have been shut down. Think about all of those people and individuals that no longer have the resources and revenue to go out and purchase at their corner store. Gas prices are going to go up. Those are all conditions of the market, the economy, and conditions that we're going through right now. So allow creativity. One of the things that I talked about is allow the creativity to come about. Just like Anheuser-Busch stopping their beer production to produce water and package water and then ship it to Houston. That's a huge effort on the part of a business owner, and they're committed to do that, and that will pay dividends down the road. It doesn't have to pay dividends today, right? So what's the number one thing, Marian, that you have not been able to find or discover as you're going out in the like you mentioned, fans? Is it fans?
Yeah, I went to Lowe's. They were closed. I went to Home Depot, 0 fans. I went to, any place I could think of that might have fans, completely gone. Even Sam's Club, they said that they never got the shipment because they ordered fans ahead of time because they knew people were going to have them. They didn't even get the shipment before the storm, so they were completely out before the storm even hit.
Wow.
So I know things are starting to come in now, slowly but surely. Things are starting to replenish. But yeah, we needed fans immediately. We needed boxes immediately. We needed water immediately. There's a lot of contaminated water. There's a lot of people that have their water shut off.
Right.
There's a lot of different things that you need that you don't even think about. And you know what? Not being from a coastal community, I grew up in Michigan, yes, did have a lake there, but
Right.
other than lake force winds that blew in snow, we really didn't have too much of a problem with water. I didn't realize this far in how much a hurricane would affect me. I had no idea. Once that hurricane hit, it wasn't the wind. We didn't have any wind. We had rain. Rain. It just kept raining, buckets and buckets and buckets of rain until we just flooded. We couldn't take it out. We couldn't take any more.
Right. Well, Houston's pretty flat.
So you don't think about what you might need until you go through something like this.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. We're going to have a big run now on dryboard or whatever you call that stuff that goes on your wall, your drywall. Okay.
On your 2x4s.
Good point. Okay. I don't know anything about construction, so bear with me here.
Yeah.
Why use a substance that soaks up water like crazy to build all the houses in a place where it can flood all the time? Hello, we go through this all the time. Why don't you use water-resistant material, Russ?
Yeah. Or maybe building your home above the ground level might be another idea. I don't know. Here's the thing, and I don't know these answers. I don't know these questions, but because Houston has grown so much, I mean, it's, some people say it's the 4th largest city. I don't know where it fits into the equation. And it just, because of all the concrete, all of the buildings, the rooftops, the parking lots, and the garages, and all of these things, there's no longer soil to absorb and for this water to go. I mean, there's only so much capacity. So when you have a storm surge coming in, because that's what happens is, and meteorologists can tell you, it's the pressure allows the ocean to actually rise up. I think they said up to 12 feet in this storm, and that pushes the wind pushes all that water into land, and then the rain, draining all this stuff, they meet so that there's no place for the water draining to go because the ocean is higher than the rivers. So all of a sudden, it has to go someplace, and next thing you know, our sheetrock's wet. Yeah. Sad.
Soaking wet.
So here, I want to recap. All right.
Okay. All right.
So everyone, have a little empathy. Listen. Some people just want to share their story. It's their journey. It's their pain. It's their process. It's part of the grieving thing, right?
Okay. Yep.
Stay creative. We're not going to be where we need to be for what I would think is going to be a very long time. So think about what you're going to need, what you're going to do, and how you're going to be able to use it. Patience. Patience. And I hear your dog.
Yeah.
And be supportive. Be supportive.
Well, Russ, I think being supportive means a lot to a lot of different people. And because my dog's barking, it just brought to the attention for me. There are services that I'm willing to pay for right now. Like right now, if I could find somebody that I trusted that would take care of my puppies while I'm cleaning the house or while I'm trying to get all this, stuff out, I would have gladly paid anybody. Yeah. Thankfully, I had a friend of mine who said, "You're not paying me to, let me have your dogs for a couple of days." But that's over. She had to go back to work. There's all kinds of materials that I need now, right? And I'm glad to pay for that. So I don't think it's a matter of you not marketing to us. It's the way that you do it. So the empathy and yeah. So thank you.
We're all people. Let's just treat each other like humans and know that we're going through a process right now where there's a lot of things that are it's disrupted, and so let's just work together to get it solved. So we're going to have an event on Friday, so we can get together and support each other, right?
That's right.
Where's that going to be held at?
So it's called Payments Gallery, and the address, I'll put it in the chat room here, so in case you don't have a pen, it's on Westheimer Road, which is 11660 Westheimer, Suite,
which is outside the Beltway,
119. And that's Houston 77077. And like Russ said, it is outside the Beltway. It's on
west.
It's west of the Beltway on the north side of the street. It's in a shopping center, and it is beautiful. It is a friend of ours. They just opened this business. They do payment processing, and he's an artist. So that's where the name came from, Payments Gallery. Isn't that cool? Love it.
Very cool. Very cool.
So what we plan on doing at this party is to unite business owners, uniting to not only brainstorm, but to celebrate that we're still here and help each other with referrals and testimonials and encouragement. There's going to be a lot of encouragement going on because we still need to run our businesses. We still need to move forward. So I think we're going to be offering help to anybody who needs it. We're going to be offering not only our support, but our testimonials and referrals for moving forward.
Absolutely.
I love the brainstorming part.
Absolutely. And also, it might be one of the last few events that I'll be attending, right?
For a while, because that's where you're going. You're opening up an office in Arizona.
We should probably announce that at some point in time, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, because
anyway,
just a few people know about it. And how are we going to announce that?
I don't know. Lots of empathy here. RJ, thank you so much for being here live. Our hearts and prayers go out to everyone out there. And it just sounds, Arizona sounds really good right now. It's still about 110 degrees. So, but it is a dry heat, and it is dry.
Very dry there. But you said they could have downpours as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Marian, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And if you listen to this afterwards, this is Marketing Ideas That Work. I'm Russ Johns and the lovely Marian LaSalle. We are Agency 258, and we look forward to helping you through this process. And until next Tuesday, you enjoy your day.
Bye for now.